Hi, I'm your host, Jada.
I'm her co-host, Wendi.
And we are the Spicy Chicks. We're sweet chicks with spicy personalities link up. Hi, I'm your host, Jada.
I'm her co-host, Wendi.
And we are the Spicy Chicks. So, how do you feel about our first episode, girl?
I'm excited. It's been a long time coming. We've been talking about it for a really long time, so I'm excited for it to come to fruition now.
I am too. I was a little nervous today. I've been up all night thinking about topics and different things we can discuss, and I'm just ready to get into it. So, let's start off by discussing our weekend. How was your weekend?
What did I do this weekend? This weekend really was just like prep for today.
Yeah.
I spent all day, literally about 5 hours getting my nails done yesterday. That's number one. And then I didn't finish with my hair until midnight last night.
I saw it on Instagram.
Yeah, so that's all that happened yesterday, really.
I did the same thing. I prepped a little bit. I got my very first henna tattoo. I remember you told me about it, like, I think it was like during the summertime when you first got yours.
Did you go to the same spot?
No, I went to this lady I found in Stone Mountain. I'm going to put her information at the bottom, but her name is Rima, and she did my henna tattoo. It was about 10-15 minutes and took about 20 minutes to dry, but I really love it. I didn't know that you could get brown or black though.
Yeah.
Because
I got black last time.
I'm going to try black next time because I felt like this wasn't dark enough because of my complexion, but I really love it. I'm really excited about it.
Cute.
So yeah, that's about it. Also, I was prepping for like topics and things, and I guess what I really wanted to start off with, because this is January, so we're in 2021. We made it through 2020.
We did. It was rough.
A lot of chaos, a lot of things going on, especially here in Atlanta. So I wanted to talk about like the quarantine and the pandemic. Like, how did quarantine affect you? Like personal wise and like relationship wise, and we can just like go back and forth about that.
So I'll start with like me personally. So I'm an essential worker, quote unquote, because I work with the bank. Right. And at first we were still working, and it was like, hey, y'all are going to be here, and it was like, but there's a whole pandemic going on.
Right.
We did ended up transitioning to work from home. So for the first time ever, I have been working from home. I am still working from home. I've been home ever since March.
Me too.
Which has its good days and it has its bad days. Like, you know, I can work in my pajamas or what have you. I spend a lot of time now here with my dogs. But for the first time ever, you know, I'm working from home. They send us a laptop to work from home. So I just think it's interesting. The job that we go to work to do every single day really can be done from your home the entire time. So it's kind of like, why don't we just work from home?
Exactly. Exactly.
That's been the biggest change for me though. Instead of getting up, going to work every day, it's just getting up out of my bed to physically clock in for work every single day.
Yeah. I mean, mine was pretty much the same. I work in corporate America, so we've been home since March, and we had like anticipated that we would be back in the corporate office like they almost thought like before Thanksgiving, and then they realized that that just wasn't going to work. But same scenario, we were sitting home with all of our equipment, so everything that I did in the corporate office I literally can do right here.
Okay.
But what I will tell you, I remember being in the office and saying things like, ooh, I wish I could work from home. Ooh, I wish I could work from home. Now that I'm actually working from home, I'm like, I really want to be in the office. Like, I'm tired of being here every single day. I miss going to the cafeteria with my friends, kikiing and talking. I miss, like, I don't know, going to visit my friends at their desks, like stuff like that. But we're literally stuck in this house all day on the phones. Because I work like, I'm a corporate underwriter, so I'm on the phones answering questions all day, and it's just it's redundant. Redundant.
I do miss that part, like literally going into the office. I was cool working from home for a little while because it was new. You know, at first everybody was like, yeah, let's work from home. But now that I've been working from home almost a year, I miss the human interaction. And it's a lot of things that people will do and say over the phone
that they're not going to do
in my office.
In your face.
So people get real cute over the phone, but they won't in my office. So I do kind of miss that part, and I do kind of check in, you know, with my team that I used to work with. Some of them are still in the office and still going to work every day. Some of them work from home, but I will say I do miss that part.
I really do. I thought about that, and For everybody else that's out there still remotely working from home, we would love to see the comments, like how you guys have been dealing with being at home away from human interaction, the camaraderie with your coworkers, just having the opportunity to get from your desk and go to lunch somewhere. Even though you're at home and it's easy, but it's still like I miss getting up from somewhere, going to lunch, sitting somewhere with other people and talking. Like I really, really miss that. So we would love to see everybody else's comments. So now we're going to do a little twist on it now. So how did it affect your relationships, like love relationships, or even if you're not in like a love relationship, romantic, like your friendships, like how did it affect that?
Well, I'll say family first. Like I'll go with those kind of relationships. My family, I have a very small family, probably like 10, 11 people deep, and I have a lot of elders in my family. So it was kind of like, hey, don't come around, or if you do, make sure you wear your mask. Right. We've got elders in our family like 80s, 90s years old, and this thing is brand new to everybody. And for me, although we were in quarantine, I mean, I still was like kind of going to the gym, and I would go here, I would go there. So I may have been the highest risk to people in my family. Like my elders are staying in the house and things like that. So when I'm out and about, or there was at one point I went to Vegas, I went to Florida, what have you. So it's like, hey, you need to be at home in quarantine at least 2 weeks before you come around. So they were really, really nervous, and and rightfully so. They have a right to be nervous. They're older, and this thing did take out a lot of people. So I do understand the seriousness of it. Like, hey, you need to stay home in quarantine. But it sucked because I used to live with my grandparents for 3 years before I moved out and went to Buckhead, and it's different going around and not being able to hug your relatives, not being able to really be close. This whole 6 feet thing is it's not realistic.
It's weird,
it affected my Thanksgiving, my Christmas. Everything had to be at home with people of your immediate household. They're no longer my immediate household anymore. So this was the first time I didn't kick it with my family for Thanksgiving, for Christmas. That's different for me. When I lived in Delaware, that was cool. I expected that I wasn't going to see them on certain holidays. But to be all in the same city and not be able to see my family, you know what I mean? And with me having elders in my family, they don't do Zoom and stuff like that.
Child,
so it's literally
elderly person how to do Zoom. I mean, listen, I've had the experience with my own mother. I mean, she's not elderly, but she's older. So trying to teach them anything with technology is a headache. So it
was rough for me. It was literally like a phone call. Hey, happy Thanksgiving. Merry Christmas. Or I dropped their gifts off and kept it moving. And that was rough for me, particularly. Family is real big for me. So I took that kind of rough.
Yeah, I mean, I have a small immediate family as well. It's just my mom and my 2 sisters, so it's just 4 of us. But it still was a little, it was still familiar for me. We didn't really make a big difference. My mom pretty much spends all of her time with all of her daughters, so we were always connected. We never really separated from one another. Even though I don't live there with them, we still periodically saw each other. We would just take precautions, wash our hands. We're heavy on the sea moss, we're heavy on the echinacea, we're heavy on the elderberry. We're doing all those different type of things. So my family's just very health conscious, so we just kind of felt like we were prepared, like our immune systems were ready. You know what I'm saying? My mom, she's very spiritual, so she was like, oh, nothing's going to come over the family. She just, that's just how she is. So we were just really positive throughout the whole experience. We stayed around each other. When we went out around others, we would wear masks and stuff like that. But our dynamic really didn't change. We spent Thanksgiving together, just the 4 of us. Same thing with Christmas, same thing with New Year's. Like we just spent time with each other. But as far as my friendships go, a lot of my friends I have not seen in a really long time. Like even coworkers I have not seen. Like we'll talk with like a Zoom or something like that, or see each other's snaps, but like we have not interacted at all, and that's just weird for me because I realize I don't really think I'm a homebody person. I thought I was before the quarantine, but I'm really not. I like to go out. I like to go places. I like to go out to eat. I like to brunch.
Right.
I like dinner. I like to just go over my friend Danny's house and just sit on her couch and just annoy her and watch SVU reruns and marathons. I like to go bowling. I just want to be out and about doing things. And this has just really stifled everybody's movement. You're just stuck. And I'll tell you what I realized this is kind of going into the next topic, but what I realized about myself is that I didn't have enough hobbies. I really didn't. I didn't have enough hobbies. I realized like my life literally was get up, go to work, come home, maybe exercise, kick it with my boo, whatever, da 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 da. That was it. And we might go out. But where were my hobbies? Like, I didn't have anything else to do. And when the city shut down temporarily, I was stuck here with myself, forced with myself to really think about like, how can I entertain myself?
Okay, well.
And that's hard. That's fun. I mean, it's really, really hard. It's super hard.
Now, okay, I had the opposite experience.
Yeah, I know. Please tell them about your experience.
So, I have a lot of hobbies. And I was able to tap into all those hobbies. And when I say I have a lot of hobbies, I was able to get real creative as far as like, I took a wall in my room and made it an abstract wall with like paint and tape or whatever. And this turned into people like DMing me like, girl, can you come paint my wall? Whatever.
I remember you told me.
So I literally did like 3 walls in my room. I got involved in like little projects, like you know how we go like painting with a twist or like a sip and paint. So I brought the sip and paint to my crib. Okay. So went to Michael's because Michael's was one of the places that was not shut down. So I went to Michael's, go get supplies, go get paint or whatever, and sip and paint at the crib. Okay. But the biggest thing for me, my business came out of quarantine. Now I was very nervous about this because you're starting a business during a time where people are losing their jobs, where people their hours have been cut. They might be unemployed altogether. So I was very, very nervous about the support, how well my sales would be and things like that. But my business did very, very well during quarantine. I was able to birth something that was probably 2 years old. An idea that I had put to rest 2 years ago, like before we started the stadium and all that. I had gotten very busy with all of my jobs at the time that my personal aspirations just kind of went to the wayside. So now that we're in quarantine and I have nothing but time
to focus,
why not start this business up? So that's really how I birthed my business. And so I'm very, very grateful. Although 2020 seemed like it was a bad year, maybe, you know, for some people in certain aspects, you might have lost loved ones, you might have, you know, whatever the case may be. Me personally, 2020 was actually a very good year for me. I was able to tap into a lot of things within myself, get back to my hobbies. You know, the business started. I did a lot of self-reflecting as well. Although I didn't see a lot of friends, what quarantine did do for me, I was able to reconnect with some friends I lost touch with. And granted, it was virtually. Like, I have some friends in Delaware that I may have lost touch with, or maybe we didn't end on the best of terms. So in quarantine, I got back to myself, growing and things like that. I said, you know what? I need to reach out to this friend. I don't like the way our conversation ended the last time, and we really haven't spoken in a long time. Now's the perfect time to reach out. Whether she accepts my reach, the olive branch, or not.
You did it.
I did my part, and I'm okay with that. So moving forward, I can say I at least tried for this friendship, or whatever the case may be. So quarantine actually rebirthed some new friendships for me. I was able to get in touch with at least 2 friends off the top of my head. That's good. 2 really good friends that I had lost touch with. That's good. So it really wasn't too shabby for me. I'm really grateful that we both were essential workers.
We both were,
and we both, I can say my quality of life did not change as far as my finances. Like, I'm really blessed to say my finances didn't change. I actually had increase between my corporate job and then my business itself. Quarantine, a lot of good things came out of it for me personally.
That's good. That's good. I mean, I was watching your whole journey on Instagram when you were posting it, and I remember a couple of my friends were saying, hey, I saw your friend, wow, that's so amazing that it was just a simple chemistry. They said that you made a post about it was a simple chemistry lab that you remember back in school, and that's what kind of prompted you to start doing this again. And they were like, we all just forget about the simplest things that we're really good at that can be like, I don't know, monumental things in our lives.
Yeah, you're not lying. You realize how many people are sleeping on themselves. Like, you have talents within yourself that can make you as much money as you're making in corporate, if not more. And a lot of times we sleeping on ourselves. Like, I have a forensics degree. I got a chemistry minor. I'm not using either working for the bank. So I'm sitting here wondering, well, how am I going to use this, or how am I going to use that? And it's funny because I'm using my chemistry degree now in my business. I think a lot of people are tapping into their talents, what they're good at,
Yep.
And they're taking themselves seriously because now, as you see, you can't take anything for granted. You know, people that may have naturally lived to be 80, 90 years old got taken out 20s, 30s, 40s due to something that we never ever saw. So at this point, you don't have time to waste.
No.
You know, it used to be that in your youth you associated that with longevity of life and things like that. And now you're not promised anything. Like COVID showed that.
Yeah, it did.
Like you're not promised anything. Like you normally, you know, it's enough out there, car accidents and things that just happen in the normal life. But now you add COVID in here and it's like, well, dog, like I really can get taken out any day now. So I need to take advantage of every single day, literally.
And it doesn't discriminate healthy people, sickly people, older people, younger people. It was so unexpected. But yeah, I wanted to talk about that because I thought it was really impactful on, I feel like, everybody's life, whether the impact was good or bad. So I really wanted to discuss that because it really did. It really affected a lot of people. I know as far as mental illness goes.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people develop a lot of anxiety, including myself. Anxiety that I didn't even know I had. You know, and that's because really anxiety is just the fact of you don't know. You know, you don't know what the outcome is going to be. So it just raises your adrenaline and you're just like, I don't know. So it just makes you very nervous. So that was a huge thing.
I agree with that.
Now, as far as relationships go, like romantic relationships, do you feel like the quarantine or pandemic affected your romance life?
I would say, yeah. I mean, you know, okay, so the world shut down, for lack of a better word. Now, granted, Atlanta was one of the last people to shut down.
Not really shut down, right.
And we were like halfway shut down, like fake shut down. But like, imagine if you wanted to like go on a little date or whatever. Canceled. I had people that were important to me or people that I cared about that, you know, you might want to celebrate them, birthdays or whatever, or show, canceled. Like everything canceled. Like if somebody wanted to take you on a date, canceled. So if somebody was showing a little interest or whatever, it didn't involve us going out per se, you know.
It definitely did not.
And it didn't involve you, you know, coming to somebody's crib or nothing like that because it's like, hey, you might have COVID, so you can't come over here.
That's true. I never thought about that.
Yeah, unless it was somebody that you actually knew, you know, like prior to or whatever. So
like, I don't know where you
a lot of people might have had to get real creative with stuff that they wanted to do. I didn't have that experience where like I was quarantining with somebody that's just like you can't stand. Like some people are living with significant others and they realize this is not for me. Like I really can't stand you or you get on my nerves. Or whatever.
Because you work all day, so you only see them for little dates here and there, but you're really not around them. But quarantine forced, I think, people to become creative. Like you had to come up with a way to keep your partner interested. Yeah. Whether it be, you know, you make a little date in the living room with a little blanket and some snacks or something, or you do your own little Netflix and chill with a twist, or I don't know, you turn the music on and y'all have a club in here. I mean, I just do weird things like that. So, I mean, it really forced people to step outside the box. And you know what it really did? It made you realize who really fuck with you too. Yeah. Because think about it. Like, for somebody to come see you during a pandemic and quarantine, they really, really fuck with you. That's like, true. Can nobody call you and be like, "Who I want to see you," and you don't you don't really fuck with them too tough. That's true. You're gonna be like, "No, I'm good," or "I'm tired, I'm sleepy." Right. Like this really showed who's with you and who's not with you. Like dead ass. I have heard so many stories from my friends about men and women who showed their ass during the quarantine. So many stories. That's gonna have to be for another episode.
You know what? I've heard that.
Yes, it's been some wild things going on out here. How you cheating during the quarantine? Well. You out here, it's a whole pandemic. It's a whole flu virus out here, and you out here cheating?
Bringing stuff back to the house?
The house?
I don't have them kind of problem.
I don't understand what's going on out here. But that's going to be it for a whole nother episode. So that's it. That's pretty much it. I really enjoyed this. You didn't drink any of your mimosa. You're supposed to drink this mimosa
a little bit. I got a lot going on. I got a hookah over here.
You got to drink some of this mimosa.
We trying to get a little crazy.
Cheers to our first episode.
We do have to cheers to our very first episode.
Yay, look at it. It matches your nails.
And this is a long time coming.
It is
We've been talking about this for a while.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment at the bottom. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time.